T? Time. That's why I call it T instead of X. That's the time. That's for any growth or decay problem. Now, I don't know if you want to do this in a separate box or if you have room in the same box. There's a special type of decay problem you should be aware of, and that is half-life. Remember those? That's a special kind of decay problem. So same equation, just with a couple adjustments. Here it is. A is not going to change, but there will the B value you already know. What's the half-life? It's still going to be raised to the T, the time, but you have to take that time and divide it by H. Anybody H? It's the half-life. 2 years, 10 months. Whatever the half-life is, I divide it by it. We all good there? Okay, I'm going to refer back to that sheet in a couple problems, all right? I need you guys to go to the exam we've been working on, which was June 09, and we got to do problem 34 together. Less than 2 weeks away now. Okay, this is why I went over that with you. It's a half-life problem. Half-life's 15 years. Can you guys just write an equation for me if I start out with 200 grams of the substance after T years? Okay, so I gave you what was the equation again? Y equals, look at it if you need to. A times 1/2 to the T over H. Okay, here we go. Let's fill it in. Now, unfortunately, honestly, I don't know how picky the graders are going to be if you leave Y as Y, because they do give you a name for it in the problem. This is S of T, all right? I don't know how, again, I'm not allowed to grade it, so it's not like I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to let that slide. I don't know. A, initial amount, 200, 1/2 raised to the T over, what's my half-life? There we go. So there's a point. Questions there? Because this is where you really earn your points on this next one. Determine, when we see algebraically, what's a no-go. You cannot do if it says you got to do it algebraically. Guess and check. You cannot guess and check. Okay. To the nearest. Okay. Whoa! Right now, nearest year. Which variable are we going to solve for then? T. So T's got to stay T. So I got 200. 1/2 to the T over 15. But I got to plug something in on the left side. I can't have two different variables. That's outrageous. How long will it take for 1/10 of this substance to remain? Well, how much did I start with? 200. What's 1/10 of that? Well, let's figure it out if you don't know on your calculators, all right? We're not doing a staring contest anymore, all right? 1/10 of 200. One-tenth of 200. I want to know how long it takes to get down to 20 grams. All right, so 20 grams. Okay, you're not going to like how we solve this, but there's at least one of these every year. Where is your variable? Where's it located? The variable we got to solve for. Okay, how do I solve for an exponent? We're going to eventually end up bringing back logs. Okay, sorry. Okay, if you need to solve for an exponent, the only way to do it is by logs. Okay? All right, I'm going to open it up to you guys. If you're right, congratulations. If you're wrong, at least you took a chance. I need to get T by itself. Which one? First of all, can I multiply 200 times 1/2? Don't try it. Nope. Nope. This is connected right here. So you can't multiply it by 200. Okay, but I got to get t by itself, so what can I get out of there first? Or what should I get out of there first? No. Nope. Get rid of the? Nope. I don't want to get rid of that yet. I'm trying to get that by itself. 20 is by itself.
No, but get that out of there.
Can we get anything out of there?
Yes.
We've said everything.
The 200.
I said that.
Okay, a couple people said it. Sorry. All right, but the first thing I'm hearing is get the 15 out of there. Get the 20 out of there. All right? The 200, whatever is out here first goes. 200. How? How do I get it out of there? Divide it. It's being multiplied over here, right? So to undo it, divide it. So go ahead. Here we go. Get going. Use your calculator. It drives me nuts when we just stare. He'll write down the answer soon. Okay, yeah, I'll be writing down the answer in the band room in 2 weeks, right? Don't think so. 20 over 200. 0.1 equals what's still left over here? 1/2 raised to the t over 15. Here we go. I need the t to the 15, t over 15 to come down. I can't solve it when it's an exponent. I need it to come down here. The only way I do that is with logs. All right? So if I want it to come down right now, if I want that t over 15 to come from the exponent down, the only way I can do it is if I log its base, which was what? What's still there? 1/2. That's the only way it's coming down, is if I log that side. Now, you guys have known all your math career, you can't do one thing to one side without what? Correct. So with the 0.1, I'm also going to have to log it. So again, bring an exponent down by taking the log of both sides. Okay, now you got to take your algebra skills over now. Remember, getting t by itself. There's a couple things we could do. A couple, I don't care which one. What do you think your next move is to get t by itself? Okay, we can multiply by 15. Did anybody have a different idea? Okay, let's do it then. Let's do it. Multiply both sides by 15. What's going to be left on the right side here? T and the log of 1/2. We good? Well, 15s cancel. That's why we did it, right? On the other side, everyone's log button, right to the left of the 7. Right to the left of the 7. So 15 times log of 0.1. Guess some of you guys know that in your head. Don't need your calculator. That's impressive. I think we should switch spots. What do we end up with? Negative 15, yep. Okay, one more step. How? One more step. There you go. Divide both sides by the log of 1/2. Not going to do it for you. Let's go. You guys are killing me. What is the deal using your calculator, some of you? I didn't want to be here. All right. Drop the course earlier. And you did all that work, and you're going to get a silly point off if we can't round. Nearest year, t equals 50 years. And probably this is the only thing you're going to have to do with logs. I know it was an awful unit last year, but this is about it. Maybe graph one. All right, but that's about it. Use it to solve for an exponent. All right, use it to solve for an exponent. That's what you're going to have to do. Questions there? And you haven't seen the last of that, that's for sure. Anything from the big three there from yesterday? Don't ask because you're just looking at it now. Is that a legit question? Okay, then you're going to have to tell me why it's a legit question.
Yeah. So, I did that thing that we went over earlier, where we changed it to.
So what'd you change this to?
I changed it to two fractions, which x2 or 7.
Yep, that's correct. Times, what'd you change that to?
X3 over 5.
You are correct, and you wanted to see if it was equal to x to the, what do you change that to?
6 over 35.
Okay.
And then multiplying them, it was.
That's the problem.
All right.
Okay, because the rule when you multiply is to do what with the exponents? You add them, correct. Okay, so this, I know that's, again, sucking you in with all these traps. They want you to do 2/7 times 3/5, which does give you 6 over 35. But that's not the exponent rule. When you multiply two exponents, you end up adding them. Okay, so this ends up being whatever 2/7 plus 3/5 is. And I don't think that's equal to 6 over 35. Okay, so when you multiply, you add your exponents. Can't do it. Here's why. Can't just plug in numbers. Anywhere else, I'd say go for it, but since they want to show it algebraically, I got to turn them into these exponents. All good? Okay, I understand why, and I don't blame you guys. That's what we've been doing, but when it says algebraically, you got to show more work. Okay, just plugging in the numbers won't cut it there. Okay, before I start today's set of questions, on Monday, I am going to start a new exam that I did not hand out to you. Okay, yeah, I'm going to start a new exam that I did not hand out. So you got to bring your Chromebooks, have it in front of you, or you can print it out if you want. It's totally your call. It's going to be the January 2019 exam. I'm going to start on Monday. Okay, so if you'd like to have your own paper copy, that's on you. But if you're going to do it off the computer, you got to have a computer in front of you. Got to have a laptop. And also where you're going to do all this work. Okay, so just a heads up. Also a heads up, I don't know if it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday next week. I'm going to have a Regents quiz. All multiple choice. All multiple choice. Okay, I do not know yet. I'm still thinking about it. And I'd like your input next week. Either you do it on your own or you do it with somebody else of my choosing. Okay, and the reasoning, and it will be graded for an actual grade in the second quarter. The reasoning behind it is I feel like I can't have the first time you do stuff on your own be the Regents exam. Okay, you need to be able in a testing environment to do something on your own before the Regents. Okay, so you don't start freaking out. All right, so that's my plan for next week. All right. All right, here we go. Today's topics. Number 35, last day of this test. In addition to number 35, can you go to number 10 on the reference sheet you're not going to be given? Formulas you're not given. Go to number 10. You guys did this last year. Comes up every Regents, unfortunately. Directrix, focus, parabola, right? Did those last year. They ask one every year. Every year they ask one.
We're not giving
Anything on there you're not given. The only thing you're given is that formula sheet. That's it.
rock on.
That's all you're given. Okay, that's why I've separated them because, hey, maybe you want to know this stuff. All right, here we go, kids. First thing can you do for me is can you graph the focus for me? Graph the focus on that graph they provided. So get a little XY axis graphed. Graph the focus for me. 4, -1. Put an F next to it. Write the word focus next to it. Doesn't have to match mine. And after that, graph the directrix. Y equals -5. That's a horizontal line, like I've got up here. Horizontal line going through -5. And write the equation for this parabola. I may do this differently than what you learned last year. I'm sorry. I don't care, just because this is the easiest way for me to reteach it to you. All right, I got to, everyone see the formula I provided on number 10. Look at the formula, everybody. Look at the formula on the sheet. Y equals, go ahead, 1 over 4p times x minus h all squared. And then, okay, there are 2 values you need. You need h and k, which I have already written down for you as what? What's h and k? Coordinates of the vertex. Yes. And then there's also a p-value you need to plug in. What's p represent? Distance from focus to, okay, focus to vertex. So are you seeing what is a key point I need here? Yeah, the vertex. Kind of need the vertex to finish this. Big time. The only thing I'm going to ask you on this problem, do you remember the relationship between focus, directrix, and this vertex? Vertex is in the middle of the focus and the directrix. It's halfway in between them. Okay? So right now, what's my distance between the focus and this directrix you guys have graphed? 4 units. So where's the vertex going to be located? 2 units from each. So count up. 1, 2. There's your vertex. Halfway in between the directrix and the focus. Halfway, every time. Can somebody give me the coordinate for it? 4. Yep. All right, that's all I need. As long as I know what the vertex is, I can give you the equation, as long as I remember the equation. Ready? Y equals 1 over, all right, P was distance from focus to vertex. What do you got for me? 2, so what number should go in the denominator? 8. Hopefully you're not saying 42. 4 times 2, 8. Good? Times, what's h and k again? Okay, h is 4, k is -3. So it'll be x minus 4 all squared. And then what are we putting on the outside? -3 or plus -3, whatever you prefer. Do not try to be a hero and try squaring. You're done. You're done. You're done. We don't need any heroes here. You're done.
Nice.
Except, are you? Every problem, there's this freaking tricks. Yeah, I get it. Sorry. That's why I told you it's the toughest test in the high school has to offer. Okay, maybe. Maybe.
That was good.
Okay. One thing you got to watch out for. Ready? Should I put a negative in front or not? That's the one thing you got to worry about on your own that won't be provided to you. Should I put a negative in front of the fraction or not? Does anybody remember why I would put a negative in front? Opens down. If the parabola opens down, I would put a negative out in front. So how am I going to determine it if it opens down or not? No, 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 stop, stop, stop. The parabola starts at the vertex, right? So how am I going to know if it's going to go down or if it's going to go up? It never crosses the directrix. Parabolas do never cross your directrix. So you tell me, open up or down here? Up. So is there a need to put a negative? No. If it opens down, where the directrix would be up here instead, then I put a negative 1/8 instead. Laura. It's 1 over 4p. 4p is in the denominator. Okay, I don't know if I put that. Yeah, make sure that p is in the denominator. Yep. Whew. Not the last time you'll see these. Questions?
About right now.
All right, we'll definitely be doing another couple of them. Oh boy, what's up next?
That's up next. That is up next.
22. Let's go back to multiple choice. Come on, 13 out of 24 or more. 13 or more out of 24. It's not that bad, this one.
No, I'm talking about how they have an equation.
Hey, no, I just shake my head yes. That's all you do. It's yes. Yep. It's like when I'm riding home in the car with my daughter at the end of the day. She'll just start yapping, and my only two responses are yes, and that sounds good. I have no idea what she said. She'll be like, Dad, I want to murder you right now. Sounds good. Okay. All right. It's the same. Just acknowledge, and they feel good. Okay. So yes, you are right. Sounds good, Ben. Crazy. Yep. Sounds good.
Thanks, Dad.
Okay, here we go. Let's get back to business. So they give you this equation. Predict to the nearest degree the temperature at 7 p.m. So what do I do with that 7 p.m.? Just plug it in for x? That's the first thing. No. You're not plugging 7 in for x because what's x represent? X is the number of hours after midnight. And I thought kids' heads were going to explode 5th period. From midnight to 7 o'clock. It was like, I don't know. I thought I was literally going to have to go one by one up there and count with me. Okay, because we're on the phone so much.
What? How many hours?
How many hours from midnight to 7 p.m.? 7 p.m. Everyone agree? 19 hours. Great job. Don't start plugging it in yet.
Sine.
It has something to do because it's a sine equation. Ready? When we graph these, when we used to, back in the day when we graphed these, and we still have to graph them, do you remember what your x-axis was always in? The pi over 2s, right? The pi's, that's always in what type? Radians. That's what your calculator's got to be in here. Your calculator's got to be in radian mode before you plug in 19. Any sine or cosine equation, if you're going to plug a number into it for x, it's got to be in radian mode. So hit your mode button, change it back to radians if it's not already there. Somebody asked that 5th period. Very rare. I'm waiting to see a problem where it really matters. Like this is the only time it matters what mode is it. No. So when we clear the calculators at the beginning, which we will, your calculator already will be in radian mode. Okay, so go ahead, store 19. I would store 19 in for x. And type your equation now. 8 sine 0.3x minus 3 plus 74. Close it. There it is. It's 77 degrees. Yeah, 77.4 rounds to. And I'll just do it on mine. You have it in degree mode by accident?
No.
It's not a yes or no question. Ready? I'll put mine in degree mode.
Yep, sounds good.
And do it all over. What's the choice?
What the?
Yeah.
That's a load below.
Oh, sorry. That's why I'm going over it at least. That if you're plugging it into a sine or cosine question,
Why would it be true?
it shouldn't be. But some kids are just programmed. I don't know what they've done in geometry and algebra 1, but they're programmed. I got to put it back in degree mode. Okay. Everybody good?
Check if it's in radians or degrees. And that's on you. I don't know.
Jeez.
What's the issue?
Every man for himself. It's all more than king of the hill.
Oh, I got it. Okay. You probably did two. Yeah, I did two.
Oh, you got, just type it in as is, right in there. Just type it in as is. They give you that set parentheses. But once you hit sign, the parentheses are already there. All right, can we move on? Okay, 14. Go to 14. What's the solution to f of x equals g of x? Well, first I got to figure out on the charts where f of x and g of x are equal, right? Anybody see where they come up to be equal to each other? The 2.53, f of x column and g of x column match. 2.5, right? Right here, right? So hey, there's a choice. Let's circle it. We're on our way. No, no, no. Solution is what x value makes them equal, right? What x value makes them equal? In that case, it would be what? Not 2.53, but 8.52. And what? And I heard it. Why don't I use the 3.01? X's are different, right? And look at all those choices. There's not really one you could, like, do you eliminate 0? Well, there's zeros in both. 2.53, 3.01, there's a lot there, all right? That's why you got to know what the heck you're doing. No. Why don't you keep feeding your face with just random stuff, all right?
Water?
Are we good?
Random garbage.
Thankfully, I only have one question left here, so number 12. What's the solution? Solve for x. Solve for x. What's the solution when w is a positive integer? Your move?
Plug in some stuff.
Plug in what? What's w?
Let's
Well, w says it's a positive integer is any whole number. So pick one.
pick 6. Let's start with never mind.
4x squared plus 4. What do you? It's just saying w is a positive integer, so I'm just plugging in a random positive integer in for w. And solving for x. Yes, we good? It said solve for x. I'm going to solve for x. W is a positive integer. I picked a random positive integer that's not 1. Okay, what's your next move to solve for x? I'm going to try to do hands off here.
Oh, yo. Track 4.
Okay, you got it. I can do that.
Can you do difference too? Oh wait, no, you can't. No, I understand. Don't worry about it. Just
Yep,
understand.
yep.
Don't understand.
Yep. Good. It's plus, not minus. Next move.
Divide by 4.
What's the next move?
Square root.
Yeah, I know your calculator's giving you an error. You take the square root of any negative number. Take the negative out. What's it become on the outside? Becomes I. Yes? You take the square root of any negative number, it's going to be something I. Yes? Square root of 1 is what? So it's just 1I? No, but you are taking the square root. It's plus or minus I. I honestly don't know how you would get 6 out, but it's there. I can see how you could maybe circle -1, and then I think you're just giving up on life when you circle 0, and you just want to get it over with. So, questions? Okay, we're not wasting time. Nope, there you go. Start on 1, call me over if you need help. Come on, let's go. Giving you some time to work on your own here. Sorry they're all out of order. It's just how I flip through it. 33, 24, 32. Call me over if you need some help. Don't pack up. Get it done. If you want me to look at something, now's the time to do so.